If you have one of these in your home, then you need to know this new chilling theory. TikTokers have claimed these new viral furry Labubus carry demonic energy, rumoured to be inspired by the demon Pazuzu. But Hot Mart insists they're based on a children's book. Labubu owners have now taken to blessing their dolls with holy water to banish any evil the new toys may hold.
For reference, that was a video from the Daily Mail, a publication you might have actually heard of and read actual articles and news reporting from. Hi again, fellas. And I don't think they were, like, lying in that video, but it certainly feels out of place for a publication named the Daily Mail. But Labubus are becoming a big enough thing in the world right now that it probably does bear some coverage of this nature. If you guys don't know, Labubus are like this new genre of collectible figure, and they have the same shit going on that like Funko Pops do, where they do collabs with existing IP and they have like rare ones that cost more. I'll say I find them to be much more visually interesting than Funko Pops, but they have taken over my timeline. It could be a thing where it's been picking up steam over time, and I'm only just noticing it now as it reaches a breaking point. Labubus, according to Wikipedia, are plush toy monster elves, and they were made by this Hong Kong Belgian designer, Casing Lung. I probably butchered the name, man. And I can't really argue against the idea that these things might carry some symbolic demonic energy, like not literally Azazel has like come down and put his curse on these things, but like the same kind of vibe you might get with a dude who has an entire room dedicated to Funko Pops. And it's a type of consumerism that, let's be honest, I am not anywhere above. You guys have literally watched me let Sonic Speed Sim on Roblox run in the background of these recordings so I can get my steps in on that game and level up my 20th Shadow the Hedgehog variant skin. I literally must have them all, so I understand the impulse. And the argument you can make for Labubus over this and what I do is that we both spend real money on these things, but you get a physical item in return for these that you can actually maybe like hold on to as an asset. If you check out websites like StockX, these guys will sell like literally anything if they think it can have resale value down the line. You can see individual Labubus being auctioned off on eBay with, this is the set price or give me the best offer. If it hasn't been happening already and these things are about to become even more limited supply, then expect the resale curse to hit them like a truck. It's gotten to the point where certain TikTok shops that advertise native inside the app are trying to stock their shelves with these things as quickly as possible to maybe get an impulse buy out of somebody who is just getting into these, when there's probably way more efficient methods of getting your hands on a collectible like this if it's something you're into.
We now carry Labubus. We got the exciting macaron and have a seat. We got big into energy coming in soon. We have individual boxes, sealed cases, whatever you guys need. All Labubus are 100% authentic.
That counterfeit Labubu industry is probably going to be worth upwards of a few $1 billion within the year if they manage to maintain their current market demand. And I feel like a lot of people look down on those who really invest in Labubus and enjoy collecting them. I understand the criticism, also knowing that it makes me a hypocrite if I'm going to like rail against them in a really aggressive way.
Someone immediately commented on my video and they were like, what has consumerism done to us? And I deleted your comment. I don't disagree with you. Consumerism has destroyed us. But shut the fuck up and let me enjoy my silly little toy, bro.
This is true. I think everybody is entitled to their own leisure activities so long as it doesn't come at the like direct harm of others. There are certainly ones that I think are a little stranger than others out there, but I'm sure plenty of people have similar opinions about the things I choose to spend my money on. See the Xbox chair in the back. And when I say that these things have become shitpost status immediately, it feels like that the way I was introduced to these were a bunch of people having the term Labubu flashbanged in their face over and over again. The interesting thing about Labubu's creator is that this is him next to a piece that you can see in a gallery. That's clearly the Labubu design, and I actually really fuck with the art here. One thing I found interesting, though, is people kind of projecting how it might feel to be the creator of Labubu, seeing what they've become. Like, one of the biggest tweets I saw regarding this topic was, I feel so bad for the original artist. His art looks so vivid and full of soul, but his creation is now only recognized as some consumerist, trendy collectible. And I feel like this happens to anybody whose own creation goes well beyond the original scope they created it in. Like George Lucas seeing Star Wars become what it did today. It was still an active choice for him to sell it to Disney and allow it to be commodified in a way that he never did when it was under his watchful eye, but it still made him a billionaire by the end. Creating as a job can turn the act of creation into a job. You give up that one thing you may have poured your heart into, and it frees you from the rat race to create basically whatever you want. Now, not everybody is going to go in that direction once they strike gold. A lot of people will just just keep tapping that same well over and over again, especially if it continues to generate revenue for years and years. But others just hand off the responsibility of iterating on the work that got really big to a third party, whether that's another creative who they trust with their vision, like C. Scott Cawthon still having some level of involvement with the FNAF franchise, despite, saying he's leaving it behind, or even like a more corporate steward, where Cawthon still owns the rights to FNAF. I'm not sure about the Labubu creators standing where if he owns the IP still. But the icon he created has been collaborating with shit like How to Train Your Dragon. It's listed here for 3,700 THB, which is the currency in Thailand. Those things individually cost about $113. The markup on that is insane, and it's created this ecosystem of creators who are like second wave profiting off of the Labubu trend. Honestly, not too dissimilar as I am now by just talking about it, but instead, they're talking about the direct products themselves, which is honestly not something I'm above either.
Guess what, you guys? I just bought so many more rare Labubus. If y'all remember my last video, I unboxed so many rare Labubus, and some were giant and were worth up to $500.
$500 for a gigantic one, man. To be fair, those seem, at least at the moment, much more affordably priced than those like brick bear things that you see in a lot of rich people's houses. I think it was Dr. Phil's son who had a bunch of those like brick bear things right next to a gigantic armory wall. But truthfully, being able to successfully create content around something that you already have an interest in and would need to spend money on to indulge in it, it's kind of a hack to be able to business expense something you already are into. Not saying that it shouldn't be, because you're objectively using it to create content and it might not even get a profit. It seems like this woman has spent upwards of thousands of dollars on Labubus, and I don't know if she made back the entire cost of those just by putting ad revenue on a video like this, but it helps soften the blow, and it's now something you can write off of your taxes at the end of the tax year. That's like a lot of backstory of how people are earnestly interacting with the product, but the way I usually end up seeing it is through these really post-ironic, almost brain rot way of referring to Labubus, where they just put it in with a bunch of other terms that people have recently been seeing cropping up. And I doubt I will ever own a Labubu if I ever actually see one in real life. These type of posts are the most direct interaction I'm probably going to be having with these products. Labubus are white people's unfunny NFTs, dude? A Florida store is now selling Dubai chocolate Labubu items. Dubai chocolate is another word that I've been seeing getting thrown around, and that one I still have no modicum of an idea what that's even about. Like, why are they selling Dubai chocolate in Florida? Shouldn't it be like a Dubai signature? The consumerism inherent to that city makes this combo feel like it would be right at home over there. But somebody's response to this was, Labubus are white people's unfunny NFTs? Dude, what is this? And I gotta stop you right there. You're kind of just conflating the idea of NFTs and collectibles as a concept. The reason NFTs were kind of ridiculous was because they were often just mixed and matched pre-made assets that were making the same image over and over again, that people were valuing sometimes within the six figures or even millions of dollars. And the market like predictably crashed, and we haven't heard shit about them since then. Like, at least Labubus are a physical item that, even if it's manufactured falsely by the people who produced them authentically, they can theoretically be subject to actual scarcity and not just like imagined blockchain scarcity. You can't take a picture of a Labubu, copy and paste it as your profile picture and say, it's mine now. There's this concept of rare Labubus, which obviously are going to be the ones that cost the most, especially on resale down the line. And as a result, you have people just creating their own imaginary rare Labubus. Me chasing my imbecilic chud son after he just stole my 24-karat gold Labubu dildo. To me, that raises the question of, will not necessarily counterfeit Labubus, but custom-made Labubus become a one-of-a-kind designer product? If you could actually bust down in 24-karat gold and diamonds, it would objectively be worth a lot, because there's just like a lot of valuable metals and minerals on it. And it would probably be one of a kind. It sounds like something a rapper would wear as a chain. How much is something like that worth to the wider Labubu community, who mostly only interact with the official products? The pattern recognition for these things is also going off the charts, where they look at things that have the vaguely oblong shape around a face. Here's this Vogue cover of Lady Gaga and someone going, why is she kind of giving Labubu? I'm gonna say this out loud, so it's definitely gonna happen now, but I'm willing to bet some of y'all would have done it without me even prompting you. Look at me. I'm kind of like ovular, like an oval, not ovaries, and there's something vaguely face-shaped right here. I have eyebrows. I can wiggle them. That's probably enough similarities for a lot of people to go like, Labubu, rare Labubu, talking Labubu spotted. Some of the ironic posts I see about this still do come around to the danger of like rampant and uncontrolled personal consumerism. Like people who are shopaholics and actually have trouble managing their finances because they spend it on things they want without really thinking about what they need to get. This is a funny way of putting it, but when I'm trying to cop the new Labubu and Dubai chocolate, but my chud son son saying something about rent and food. Listen, I know Dubai chocolate, it's probably going to be a lot of empty calories and not the most nutritious meal you could have, but theoretically, your son could eat that and at least covers the food part. If you're actually trying to win the argument against your stupid chud son, just tell him that the Labubu's an asset investment. Investing in traditional assets just isn't as good of a move or financially secure of one as it used to be a few years back. The stock market is so volatile right now, and if you're trying to outpace inflation, it's kind of a gamble. The housing market is incredibly hard to get into. Meanwhile, if Labubu's can hold their value and you get in on the ground floor when some of them only cost $100, if that value can scale, your stupid chud son might be able to go to college off of one of those. The issue with that is it kind of requires you to look at Labubu's as a very ruthless venture capitalist as opposed to someone who's really tapped in and knows which one of these to cop before they go out of stock and cost a lot on resale. I really don't know why Dubai chocolate and Labubu have been kind of grouped together in their own little niche of brain rot. Excuse me, do you have the Dubai chocolate Labubu matcha latte? 114,000 likes, man. There are like just sides of Twitter that I am so unfamiliar with. Now, this next one, I genuinely cannot tell if it was unfortunately shaped in a way that it is, or if it was a custom creation that somebody really, really wanted to say they own. Who wants a Labubu fleshlight? In the reference image is someone wearing it out and proud, clipped around a belt loop. Do lesbians use this as like a carabiner thing, man? Listen, I'm really out of touch here. And the reason I can't entirely tell if people are joking or not is because this post is clearly a joke, but someone has had the thought in their head to put the actual thing into motion. Me and bro looking at Labubu Rule 34. Incredible work across the board, man. I'm genuinely very impressed by some people's creativity here. As a lot of like hyper-consumption products go, they end up taking on a life of their own as some kind of otherworldly force. The demonic energy that is rumored, I don't know what we even mean when we say theorized anymore. They did not use the scientific method to come to this conclusion, but the theory that Labubu is based off the demon Pazuzu and contains unholy energy. Labubus will not just become a staple of everyday life of like amongst collectors, it's also going to be a staple in how we further function as a society. Show me on the Labubu where he touched you. The form and demeanor of a Labubu is now being used as a blanket insult, or if not an insult, then a descriptor of people's body features like they did with Lady Gaga's fit. Any man under 5'6" is a Labubu, and obviously I fall into this category as a short king. I'm going to take this one on the chin because I've already made the joke about myself, but Jesus Christ, man, like not even one of us is a Funko Pop? I don't get it. Drewski kind of looks like a Labubu. See, they're just saying this shit about anybody, man, and they just put his face over one. Just photo bashed an Instagram picture of him onto a Labubu to show you the proof of concept. And I wonder if the saturation of the word across all corners of the internet from both people who actually like the things and those who think they're really corny and stupid alike, in what way it will affect the market value of these things. Like, despite the stereotypes that come from them, Funko Pops are going absolutely strong. People are still buying them all the time. I have friends who, when I visit their house, they have Funko Pops in the box as genuine decorative pieces, and I can't rip them too hard, otherwise I'll hurt someone I care about's feelings. But is like calling the Labubus like dildos and using them as insults going to hurt the demand for them? Or is it like a matter of all attention is good attention, where the more eyes you can get on something, the better you have it? It doesn't matter what kind of attention you have. All attention is only good attention if you don't care how people feel about you, or in this case, how they feel about your product, as long as they know that it exists and you can continue to profit off of it. The original creator, a lot of people are saying he must feel terrible that this was done to a work he clearly actually had a bunch of pride in at the beginning, but the question is, in his head, the calculus of people dunking on something that originally came from his art outweigh the capital he's been able to accrue as a result of it having undergone that process. I don't have any really harsh critiques for any collectors of these things other than, you know, just spend responsibly like anything. It's like, how do I budget this? $1,300 in rent, $40,000 on Labubus, $300 a month on pet care. How do I budget this? I think if it makes you happy and you're doing it responsibly, even if it's as a cope, as long as you're not letting it sap your funds to the point of insolvency, then you're probably fine. Anyways, that's all I got. Let me know if you guys have any crazy takes on the Labubu wave recently. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe with notifications on so you never miss an upload. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and I'll see y'all next time.